Song of the day for the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast is Fishtown by Cautious Clay and Joshua Karpeh. Hey, welcome back to the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast, the podcast that keeps Dr. Pepper in business. Salute to the pepperarians out there. Word of the day is noisome, Noisome. It is an adjective and it means offensive to the senses and especially to the sense of smell, highly obnoxious or harmful. Okay. Quote of the day is, the point of modern propaganda isn't only to misinform or push an agenda. It is to exhaust your critical thinking to annihilate truth. That is by Garry Kaparov. You know, I don't know how to pronounce things, but Garry, thank you so much for your wonderful quote. He is a Russian chess master, writer, and political activist. And quite frankly, someone who obviously knows what they're talking about. I honestly feel like people need the word propaganda defined for them weekly. And really, let's just be honest again, because we do honesty here. I think that we should be defining what propaganda is every day, especially how the internet is changing and the algorithm is feeding into the negative bias. There was a point. Now, to me, TikTok is better at this. Like, whatever you see on your TikTok, if you're on TikTok, whatever you see on your timeline, your For You page, if you will, I feel like that's on you. You know what I'm saying? 100%. But every other website social media platform, no. It just seems like, especially Twitter. I mean, and we already know the train and the journey that we've been taking on this year with that man. And so I swear that Twitter, because I'm one of those people, I'm not finna deal, you know. I love me and I love my sanctity, and I do want to socialize on social media sometimes, and I do want to laugh and key, and I do want to be informed. And Twitter at one point was a place where that could happen. Now I don't know, because I have seen the decline of me seeing things that I enjoy and instead now I see things I hate. Like it was something on there like last week. For some strange reason, I kept seeing a lot like suicide, and I don't know, I guess I should say a warning or whatever. I don't know how to do that, and I don't really know why I need to do that, but I need to learn more about the thing. But that's something that I'm just, anti or whatever, and I don't like seeing stuff like that. And anyway, it kept popping up on my Twitter For You page, and I was like, why was this coming up? And I said, did my phone hear me? Because I was just discussing an animated I hate it, because I was like, nobody had warned me. I kind of went in there blind, which I like to do. I like to watch stuff where I don't know what the hell going on, or I don't know what's coming, and I just kind of blindly take suggestions. But I shouldn't have, because that content was just straight up bullying and suicide, and those are two concepts that I actually hate within watching media. I don't really like shows, movies, whatever, books. I don't like those things in what I'm trying to do there. And I know some people that's they jam or whatever, but for me, I hate it so much in, outside of my home, in real life outside. And it's something I'm really adamant about. So wouldn't want to be entertained by such concepts. But I noticed that my timeline, even when I said not interested, or I said block or mute or whatever, it just wouldn't go away. And finally it went away. But I said interesting, because, most people, they're not going to keep rejecting something like that on their social media because it becomes, tiresome or whatever. But I just was like, wow. So yeah, propaganda though. It's we got to do something with it. We gotta do something with it. Oh, okay. I forgot. I finally figured out how to do the incense bundle and the crystal bundle. I haven't figured out still yet. If I want to do a book bundle or if I want to do a book or whatever, because well, not this isn't because, but last week, I was just feeling, it could have been because of my moon cycle was on, but I was just feeling lazy. Like I just didn't want to do, I kept posting the movie must movies super late. I was just like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling the vibes of perseverance. It was just straight up the vibes of laziness. But so I didn't, maybe that was why I didn't really construct it. But I was proud of myself, still did the bundle. So what you can do is you can go to Ko-fi.com, KO-FI.com. And I have an incense bundle and a crystal bundle. And in the incense bundle, it includes frankincense, dragon's blood, cannabis, lavender, cloves, 7 African powers, and the moon incense. And that bundle is for $15. And the crystal bundle, which is $30, includes carnelian, clear quartz, rose quartz, amethyst, red jasper, citrine, tiger's eye, and obsidian. And depending on what you get, it could be tumbled or raw, but it'll be in there. But that's $30, that bundle. But you can find those bundles as a way to means to purchase. And again, the links are always going to be on Twitter and Facebook on Ko-fi.com if you wanted to go straight to there. But if not, the link again is on Twitter and Facebook. I'm open to a good story. I'm open to storytelling. Love it. Love to read. Love to watch the stories. Love to make up ones to go to bed. Love a good dream, because that's a story too. But one of the qualms that I have with people telling what allegedly is a true story about their youth or about their adventures is they will take these risks in their stories but never be willing to fight back. Like, for example, I'm going to tell you a story or tell you about some things for me. Like, now probably you'd have to pay me to be in the streets or driving in the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 to about 5 a.m., the most dangerous times to be on the road, because you are with a multitude of different types of people and it's unsafe. And so back in the day, however, I would either just be leaving another location to go to another location. I would be going to my last location. I would be going to a gas station. I was out. You know what I'm saying? I was 24. I was 25, 26, 26, young. But with me being on the streets in this environment with different types of people who wouldn't normally be seen or heard from, I was ready to kill a person. I was ready to, if some shit went down, I was ready to go down with the shit or rise and stand on top of the head of that demon or that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had things in my car. I had a mindset where, yes, there's a little innocence within me, or yes, I'm still young, but there is danger lurking. I understand the hours of the night, or I understand, for even times in, 12 p.m. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm at. I'm prepared that if something goes down right now, I'm ready to do what I got to do to survive, because at the end of the day, I got to go to sleep. I love me some sleep too. You know what I'm saying? As much as a story, I love some sleep. So that's always my thought. I got to be able to know I did my thing in terms of surviving, and I got to go to sleep. And so sometimes I'm hearing people, and I love a good story, like I just said, and I'm sure you do too, obviously, duh. I mean, who don't? I don't know. But for those of us who do like a good story, for me, separating myself, for me, it's so hard to get into a story and indulge in a story where the person is completely unwilling or not, what's the word? Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if it's an unwillingness, and I can't say it's innocence either, because it's clear the danger has let the person know that the danger is there. Whether it's the person, place, or thing, they're aware at a certain point in the story. And you're like, wow, they're not gonna, and they're not even saying in the story as they're telling it, okay, well, I tried to find the nearest knife. Okay, I tried to make sure where my phone was at or my keys to, put out a person's eyeballs. I just, and I understand some people may say, and I agree, victim blaming is a horrible thing, but there is also a thin line of a responsibility to your own existence. If you are not a person who struggles with involuntary or voluntary suicide, what is the point of a story, or what is the point of even living your damn life? And you're not even ready and willing to suit up and boot up. I mean, listen now. And here's the thing, it should never be like that. Any person, place, or thing, a 4-year-old child should be able to run out in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. in the middle of the street and laugh and run wild and free. That's the world we should be living in, but it's not. And so and now, of course, a 4-year-old has no sense of defenses or anything. But see, this is what I'm saying. That's a 4-year-old, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But for the example of just being in a world where, yes, we should be able to be away and be free and not have to be riddled with fear of danger, we're not. And so with that being said, at a certain age, of course, not 4 years old, obviously, my goodness, but at a certain age of being 24, and some people really go hard, and the rock stars, 34, why are you walking around like you are invincible? That is insane to me. I don't understand. I feel like, especially for those of us who are truly more risk takers, more wildlings, how dare you? To me, it's insulting. For me, certain stories I hear, and it's like lack of preparation, lack of looking around, and here's the thing, I get now, I'm a little more hardcore in my shit, obviously. And I've done probably a lot more, risk taking than the average person, or the average person in that time of their youth. But even still, I just feel like it's just odd to me as I hear people retelling stories, and they're, I'm shocked, I guess, about other people. What are they thinking about when they're doing things, or they're making the choices they're making? And now I'm going into like a world spin, and I'm just probably letting off a little bit of steam, probably of like overstimulatedness of hearing so many stories. But I'm just like, I can't believe it. I know that I have a bias because I've always had an interest in crime and crime analyzations and psychologically analyzing things and sociology and why people do this and that. And, that spans from, why people do good things and why people do bad things and in between, or, why are people chaotic, all that. And so I'm kind of more aware of course, with that being my interest, how dangerous it is to just stand outside of your home. But even still, I don't let that I'm not a person who's paranoid because of that. Like, and that's why I said the preparation, just knowing like, okay, I'm going to walk down the street, but know that I'm going to have this bat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a distracting factor. It's just, and bear with me, y'all, because maybe I have I have to deal with growth. I have more time on this earth that I need to understand people's decision making and people's willingness to not really, I don't know if I can't say they don't give a damn, but what I will say is that a faith that I simply cannot understand, I think is what it is. And I think it just boils down to understanding, and that I just don't understand it because I just don't get. And again, this is exclusively for taking risks. Like, let's say you're a runner or a jogger, and you run and jog, and you're not prepared. We can talk about that. But what I'm talking about is going to like places and doing things, being under the influence, in different weird, just having, sometimes you can give yourself a pep talk. Sometimes you can, prep yourself. I don't think it causes for paranoia or panic, but I just feel like, I don't know. But again, maybe I need a mentor or elder, excuse me, to talk more about that to me, because I'm a person who struggles with patience as well, and I'm a person who struggles with people. I make different decisions than people do, and I may think differently than a lot of people may think or whatever. But I'm just so shocked when I hear people tell stories and they're just like, it's like there's a point of the story where you're like, wait a minute, this happened and you survived, and so the next time this happened, you weren't prepared to. I just, it's maybe me. That's what it is, y'all. It's all right. It's feet. It's me. And, welcome to the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast, because it's just me. And that's what I just realized, is that in talking to you today on this pod, I have things that I must get together in my life, because I just don't get it. And it's just one of those things where I probably need some counseling or understanding, because I'm confused. And it's a part of people telling their stories that I get lost about. And I get it. I guess, I'm like, okay, people can be ignorant of the way to protect. I don't know. Just, I don't know, y'all. Just pray for me or something on trying to gain that understanding. Because these Susie Pesto stories on TikTok, first, I've been taken on a roller coaster, and I can't skip any of them. And I can't press and hold and press it and say not interested, because also I don't want to ever miss out on another Susie Pesto stitch. I mean, there have to be thousands at this point. But I've run into some of them, y'all, now, where I'm like, you know what the fuck what you got going on? Now where was your antennas? It's like, what is going on? Please don't do anything else risk-taking, baby, because you're not prepped and you're not ready. And this could be, and then, some of these Susie Pesto stories are a reminder that prayers work. Prayers, faith, hope, these things, spiritualism. You may not subscribe to a religion, and that's fine. Honestly, I feel you on that. But there's something to feeling the vibrations, getting attuned to them, praying, meditating, concentrating on, hope, faith, etc., and asking for protection to the universe or whomever you are talking to. Because, wow, I mean, people are surviving on a hope and a prayer for real. There's nothing else that they are surviving on. And that's all there is to it. And I'm not saying you can be omnipotent and omniscient in fighting off danger and protecting yourself. My goodness, I get it. We're human. Please. But also, let's not, at a certain point in our adulthood, walk around acting like we don't know what the hell is going on out here. Like, we don't know the dangers. I mean, the world in itself is in danger. So how are you blatant? You know what? Let's move on. And another thing, I don't remember where that line comes from, but and another thing though, seriously, what is it about? Okay, first of all, obviously people are being honest about this. I guess what, in my mind, in my experiences, how I was raised, how I naturally am, nature and nurture, I'm always bewildered, bamboozled, perplexed, kerfuffled, that people will say often in multiple different instances, I didn't think this would happen to me, or I didn't think this would happen to my people. And if I'm being honest, I've never in my life thought that. I've never in my life of existence thought this could never happen to me. In my head, and I've learned there are different words for people who, maladaptive daydreaming, and different things for people who can visualize different things, just out of the clear blue sky, the clear blue sky. But to me, anything could happen to me. And everything could happen to me. I don't know who I am. And I don't think I'm anybody who thinks this could never happen to me. This could never happen to my family members. I've never in my life thought that, to the point where, and there are certain concepts in life like this, and this is for anybody, where you can't, it's not a lack of sympathy or empathy. It's you don't even know where to begin to pull the empathy or the sympathy, because you can't even like, that's so non-existent in your world. Like in my world, that doesn't even make, it's not logic per se, I guess, but that doesn't even, it doesn't register in my world where I'm a person thinking something could never happen to me. In my head, I visualized me walking out of my house, the front door, and a hawk coming down and pulling my hair. I have envisioned everything. And that ain't good. And it ain't bad though either, because again, it's not as if it's stunting me. It's not as if it's, making me reevaluate things. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want. You know what I'm saying? And that could be either dangerous or not. But to say that I have ever walked around in my 30 odd something years of living on this planet, that I have thought something could never happen to me or to my family, is crazy. Because anything could happen to anyone at any given time. Even if, and this is, even if you plot, you plan, you prep, you organize, you prepare for every possible outcome, good or bad, or in between, and something could still happen. So yeah, like, okay, is there really a rhyme or reason to never, well, not never, but is there a rhyme or reason to thinking that something could happen to me at any, whatever? No, not necessarily, but to be walking around where I'm like, this is, and listen, it's some horrible things that can happen to a person. It's horrible things that have happened to people. Hell, I come from people who've gone through horrible things that are unimaginable to the average person. But I don't know. I can't say it's because I am a Black woman Southern that I have that mindset, because I've seen other Black women that are Southern and Black women in general who think opposite of me. So I can't say that, but I'm just like, I don't know if it's my love for history to show me that anything is possible. I don't know. I just simply can't tell you why, but all I do know is never in my life, I know this, have walked around and thought to myself, this could never happen to me, or this could never happen to my family members. I'm honestly, to me, that's such a powerful way it's a powerful way to walk around in the world. And is it dangerous? I think so, a little bit. However, it's still admirable. It's still admirable now. Does it discombobulate me in my brain? Absolutely. But is it admirable? For sure. For sure. No sarcasm about it. I think that's some fire ass living up in here. If you walking around and there's an instance, there's some kind of scenario where you like, this could never happen to me. This could never happen to my people. Truly, wow. Because baby, when I tell you, I've thought of everything. And it ain't, and to think of everything too is like, where am I at with it? But it's like, nah, I ain't never walked out the house thinking that. I've never driven my car thinking that. I don't know. And again, I can't really tell you and pinpoint the reasons why that's who I am. I'm wondering, and to surmise all of my frustrations on this app, I think I'm looking forward to meeting people, and I'm hopeful also in meeting people who are like me in those specific niche of thoughts and theories and such, or state of minds or whatever have you. I don't even know how to describe that, but you know, you know, because I'm like, dang, have I met somebody who, and that's not something you ask a person, friend, family, or lover. I'm trying to think, have I ever asked somebody, is there something that happened to you that you thought would never happen to you? Like, who's asking that? And I ask a lot of questions. I formulate a lot of questions in my head, but I don't think I've ever thought about to formulate that question to ask to another person. I think I've asked myself, like, dang, could this possibly happen to me? And of course, the answer would be yes, because like I said, but that's interesting. I'm like, I need to, and I've just, this is something I've learned, like I said, to surmise it, something I've learned in 2023. I'm going through this, not a rebirth, but I don't know what to call it, avant-garde journey of what friendship is, or what community is, and what I think specifically what my community and my friends and people who I want to surround myself should look like. And it gets specific. It does. And you should be specific about what you want and who you want around you, etc. But yeah, I think that's something. I think too, I feel like, now this is just me, Fee. Psychologically, I probably would feel safer knowing that someone is like thinking, because to me, when I think of someone like that, I think someone is thinking about the safety of all and kind of like making conscious decisions. Because even though, don't get me wrong, I'm an impulsive girl, every now and again, of course. But I don't like people doing impulsive things around me like that, because I don't know where they're at. I don't know their state of mind. Like if I'm making an impulsive decision around somebody, I've still thought about, again, going back to that first frustration, I've still thought about what could happen. And I'm kind of prepped a little bit, not, hey, I could still die, whatever, or what have you. But it still is processed in my brain. So I'm like, I think for me, it's a safety thing with both frustrations, that I want to be around people who are thinking about things and know they're not letting it stop them from living their lives, but they are aware in a safe way, aware and of the world and of themselves in the world. And yeah. Well, let's talk about something more geared towards the holiday season, something a little more positive, something more pleasant. Movie Moss. Okay. Now, Movie Moss is something that I constructed kind of to emulate the Vlogmas culture, Podmas. I don't even know if they do Podmas, but Vlogmas is basically if you're a content creator or a lifestyle creator or whatever on the internet, and you vlog every single day up until Christmas. So there's that. Within the month of December. So I'm not on that yet in my paths. And Podmas, I'm thinking, like an episode every single day up until Christmas within December. And one day I'm striving for that, hopefully. But for now, let's do something simple, something cute. So I did the Movie Must, a Christmas holiday themed movie every single day of December until, well, it started on the 4th, I think, or the 5th. And every single day until then, until Christmas. So we've done some posts on Twitter and Facebook with the movies. Some I had to watch over again, which wasn't fun, especially with Black Christmas. I have a personal vendetta against that movie. A whole story with the movie. Because I wanted to go to the movies with friends or whatever, because another movie that came out that same day was Dreamgirls. And I don't know why, but I just was like, I don't want to see Dreamgirls. I'm 16. I think I was 16. And I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, we gonna see Black Christmas. I see it with some friends while my mom goes to see Dreamgirls and Black Christmas. I was just so like, oh my God, why? But it was a good, fun memory for me and my friends at the time. But then I went to, because Dreamgirls, if you've watched it, is like 2 hours long. You know, that was still going on. Went in there, cried, and realized, why did I try myself like that? Like, this movie is amazing, you know? And so that started something. But yeah, I'll never forget Black Christmas because of that. Anyway, that's not the point of today. So today's movie for Movie Must is Klaus. And I give it 4 out of 5 Christmas trees, which is going to be the basis in which I rate a movie. And right now I still haven't come up with a synonym or some other name for Christmas tree. I'll get it together. Or for Christmas, because remember, we were trying to change it, make it more inclusive with everybody, just the season of the season, you know, if you not, you know. So anyway, I give Klaus 4 out of 5 Christmas trees. I mean, really 4.5, like a 4 Christmas trees and 1 wreath, Christmas wreath out of 5. It's such a beautiful movie. Again, this, and the reason why I think this is so funny, because Black Christmas, I had rejected, because I wanted to see Black Christmas, I rejected seeing Dreamgirls. And then Klaus, I rejected that because I was like, you know, I don't know. I knew what Christmas movies I liked, which ones I didn't. And so my mom, again, tried to suggest this Christmas movie. And I'm like, girl, it can't get no better than, you know, what I already know about. Plus, the animations weren't something I'd be, you know, drawn to. I love a good animation, of course, anime, anything, really, you know, cartoons or what have you. But I just wasn't, at first glance, I wasn't interested. Now, again, I was still in my young 20s. I've grown since then. I don't just reject things off rip. You feel me? So, Klaus is on Netflix, which I need to look through Netflix a lot anyway, because they just got some new stuff, and I just really haven't been on Netflix like that. So you gotta see it. It's a new, I love the fact that it's a story about a postmaster, which I think is unique. I'm trying to think, you know, we always talk about Santa in the whole stories of Christmas about, you know, delivering these Christmas presents. But what about the postmaster? You know what I'm saying? And so the postmaster is the main character, as well as, you know, Santa's in there a little bit too. And I think it's like a mayor or something like that, but I forgot his name. And I just love it. It's just like a unique story. It's very unassuming. And I say go in blind. I don't want to say too much. I'm one of those people where I can either describe it to a T where you'll not want to watch it, or I'll just have to say little blurt words and then hopefully you'll watch it. But this has now become, Klaus has now become one of my favorite Christmas movies to watch, and it has turned into a Christmas classic in my house, in my room, at least. So get into it, Klaus on Netflix. And again, I'm going to have to probably a lot of the Christmas movies I do watch will come from Netflix, because I looked and I was like, wow, they have a lot of them. So, and lastly, for the question of the week, let's do something that, you know, is about during this time, during December. It's very reflective because we're headed towards the end of the year. Then we're also reflecting because of the memories we've made. This is the holiday season. This is the season where a lot of core childhood memories stem from. So question of the week is, what's one of your best memories from childhood? What's one of your best memories from childhood? Because I have been blessed enough to have multiple good memories, great memories. I couldn't just do a best one, but one of them I'm going to find, and you can get that answer on Twitter or Facebook, whichever one you prefer. But that's where the Cotton Candy Clouds podcast is at. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. See you next Monday, or hear from you next Monday.